It starts every morning before the sun comes up. Handle all service requests. Orders are given to an army of skilled landscape maintenance professionals, certified arbor trimmers, irrigation technicians, and licensed pest management experts who fan out to communities and businesses all over South Florida. Experienced, on time, and dependable. Our staff is fully trained, licensed, and insured. Contact us by phone, email, social media, or through our website to answer all your landscape questions. We are Cutter's Edge. Total Landscape Solutions.
After 40 years, the Big Cheese Miami is still producing great Italian food. They started in 1984. Since then, they've been winning awards while being voted the best inexpensive Italian restaurant in Miami. Visit them for great food, amazing service. Witness the decades of Cane's memories. The walls are like a Miami Hurricanes Hall of Fame. The Big Cheese delivers anything on its menu or party platter menu to your home, office, or even a park for a picnic. Located at 8080 Southwest 67th Avenue, Miami. Call 305-662-6855. TheBigCheeseMiami.com, where they serve large portions at family prices.
Hi, this is Jeff Welt from Welton Rayom. Dan and I have been in business together for over 22 years. We're not your typical lawyers. When Dan's not working in the office, he's flying his stunt plane. When I'm not in the office, I'm either getting tattooed, bowling, riding a motorcycle, or going to concerts. We might not be your typical attorneys, but we are aggressive attorneys, and we'll do whatever it takes to get you what you deserve. Consultations are always free. Call us anytime, 24/7.
Welton Rayom can help.
We are live, and my hat is all messed up. I tried to throw it on real quick. I didn't know how I was going to look, but hey,
there you go.
Even though he's not FedEx Racing anymore, but my boy is packing up the wins. We'll dive into that. Everything that happened this week in Darlington. It was throwback weekend. It is Talkin Racing. Now I am Sean Stanley. That is the great Spencer O'Neill. You may know him as No Doubt. Either way, he is here, and we are talking NASCAR. How we doing, Spencer?
Doing good, man. How are you doing today?
I am doing good. What you wearing today? What is that?
Well, this is a Pokemon hat.
Is it Pokemon? Okay, I didn't know.
Yeah.
I didn't know if it was like what the logo was there.
No. This is Ash Ketchum from season 1 and 2. His hat from the official Pokemon League. I think he had to turn in a bunch of like cereal top boxes to get it sent to him.
Nice. Are you a Pokemon? The kids are, or are you?
Yeah. So the kids are into it. I got them into it, but kind of a Pokemon nerd. It came out when I was like 8, and I've played every game that there is except for the second version of Black or White.
I'm not even gonna lie to you. You could have said whatever you want to say. I would have no idea.
Yeah,
the only one I know is the what is it? Pokemon Go, the mobile one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Pokemon
Go is the mobile
people
one.
in the family that go like wherever they're at, they always go venture off to see if they find any the Pokemon. So, but no, everybody to each their own, man. I love it. And the kids like it too.
Yeah. My son's way into it. My daughter's into it as well, but he's definitely more into it. So it's kind of a little family thing.
Yeah. Now, do they do? Because I know they got cards, but is that like Magic or anything? I only know Magic because I've seen them played at like card stores when we took the kid. I don't know anything about them, but is there tournaments like that with Pokemon or?
So yeah, there is a card game. A lot of people collect the cards, but it actually is like a game. It's sort of like a competitive thing. I've never really been into the Pokemon cards that much. Okay. I was more into the video game and then the anime.
Awesome. Well, this weekend we were in the throwbacks, and I got a question for you because they did ask William Byron, and I don't know if this was before or after. I believe it was before the races. And he said, they asked him if what he thought about the the throwback weekend. And he's like, I feel like it's kind of ran its course because we have 40 cars and there's only so many to go around. So I wanted to get your thought on this because he said something interesting. He was like, the NFL does it, NBA kind of does it, other sports do it just whenever, kind of like, they'll through the throwback uniforms. I thought of it because I know we both like, the Dolphins and things like that. Should they allow it to be more of a whenever you want race car, like to do it whenever you want, or should they keep this at Darlington like it's been the last 3, 4, 5, forever? I don't even know how many years. I'm going back to think about. I mean, because I've always known they've had throwback weekend. Right. I just don't remember if it was all the time at Darlington. I just feel like it is because that's Darlington's such a renowned track. But your thoughts on the necessarily just a weekend of the throwback?
Well, first off, I love the throwbacks because I like the old paint schemes, right?
Yes.
Like that brings in the nostalgia for me. I mean, seeing the number 4, and I forget who the sponsor was, but reminiscent of the Kodak 4 that brought back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was memories, right?
And then the two car looked really good. It was the old
Earnhardt Senior.
The old Earnhardt Senior paint job from, I want to say, 79. Before he went to 3, before he was known as the Intimidator. But as far as whether they should just keep doing it at Darlington or not do it, I guess I could understand the argument that it's been a little stretched out. Like they're doing paint jobs from non-NASCARs that won Indy 500s in like 1975 and just sort of like odd ends little races. So I guess, they've been kind of stretched out and they're really searching. I mean, to be honest with you, for me, it'd be a lot cooler if they just chose paint jobs from that number historically.
Yes, that's what I was
like. I don't care if it's duplicative or not. Like, just do it once a year and it's fine. Now, if they wanted to stretch it out and do it like, we had a couple of cars that like maybe we got a Rainbow Warrior at Bristol this week. I think that would be cool. But either or, I like it the way it is.
I was going to kind of say, like, for me, I would go with the sponsor, again, because most of the time the colors are, and the scheme is, the sponsor driven a little bit, depending on, I guess how much they're putting to put the name on the car. But when you look at the paint schemes and everything else, there was cars that necessarily didn't have the same colors, but the same, design, I guess you would say. So, like, for me, I think it would be better if they actually just did them whenever, but I feel like they should keep them within, like when you were saying, like the 2 should keep the 2 colors, like, like different schemes throughout, either Richard Childress Racing or Joe Gibbs. I know some are a lot more history than others. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
If you do that and just, whatever race, because it doesn't change anything. You still have the sponsor, you have the color. Why not? I mean, you have all these different paint schemes anyway, so why can't you just throw a throwback in there whenever you want? Why not? And then you just kind of, that week they can talk about it. Just, it feels like, in a way, William, I felt back, like when I first heard it, I'm like, this is a young guy that just, he doesn't really, but then I thought about it and I'm like, damn, you know what? It felt weird, and I feel bad saying this because the guy won 2 Daytona 500s in 2 different cars.
Yeah.
But when you're pulling 3 Jamie McMurray cars out in a race, I was like,
right.
I mean, you kind of getting to the point there. Nothing against Jamie McMurray and all that stuff, but it's like, okay, all right, maybe we're running a little low on our throwbacks.
I mean, I enjoyed seeing the 5 with like the Tigers.
Oh no, I love
crest on there. A little bit of throwback to the Kellogg's, the Frosted Flakes. I think it was Frosted Flakes.
Yeah, it won the award for whatever the throwback thing. Too bad it didn't do as well in the race, but that's a whole nother subject. Well, the second one is a subject, but
yeah,
first one.
I'll try not to make wild accusations.
Oh no, we are here to make wild accusations. But I will say I'm not going to let the facts get in the way of a good story here. I will not do that. All right, let's jump into it. It was the NASCAR Cup race yesterday, and Man, I got to tell you, it was my daughter's birthday party, so we were here and I was watching it, and I want to give it the right thing here. It was the Goodyear 400 at Darlington Raceway, and dude, like William Byron just rode away with. I think he had 243 of the 297, and really it was on his or whoever made the decision of the pitting. If you watch the race, he had it in control, and they just made a bad decision on when to pit. Too many laps after Reddick and Blaney. I think Reddick and Blaney pitted like 4 or 5 laps before him, and then when he came out, they were in front of him.
Right.
And then it just, I mean, again, it got a little bit closer, but the only reason they got closer is because the incident we'll probably talk the most about in the whole race. But you had Larson wrecked early.
Yeah.
The Woods brothers car got,
Ran out of space coming out of, I want to say it was either 2 or 4. I forget which one it was.
Hocevar got squeezed up. I'm trying to think of what other, big, I know Keselowski had that issue when he left the pits and he had to go back almost instantly back into the pits. It broke a tire arm or something there.
I thought it was a pretty clean race.
Yeah, no, it really was. It was, but I think that's what helped Byron with the race too, because again, when you looked at it, they had the Larson wreck early, and I believe everybody pitted then because there's only I want to say 11, 12. I don't know, maybe it was more laps than that, but it felt like it was right at the beginning of the race. Trying to see here where
the very first pit was 7 laps, maybe 5, 6.
I think that's when Larson hit the wall, right? That was
it was extremely early.
Yeah. So then they went and they pitted there, and then they never pitted the rest of the. What we talk about here is the whole, okay, and again, do they do that if they know that they're not getting the caution on 90? I feel like that doesn't happen. Again, I'm not against the stage racing. I just against the yellow flag giving them the out by making the decision of, okay, we can go in at 7 because we know we can get to 90.
Right.
With the thing. And I feel like that kind of takes away from the racing part of it. Because when you watch what happened in the green flag, I mean, damn it. Byron dominated this race.
Yeah.
And then the green flag stops and they waited too long. And then it changed the complexion of the race until Reddick, who was bouncing off the wall for about 5 laps in a row. Right. If you watched it, they're like, oh, Reddick hit again. Oh, Reddick hit again. Oh, Reddick hit again. He hits the wall, and I've watched it again, and I've watched it over and over. I don't know what Larson saw, but for some reason, I guess he thought Reddick was going to jet down from the wall. He kind of, I guess, checks up. It's the only time where he hits his brakes if you watch the telemetry.
Yeah.
And he gets plowed by Reddick's teammate and thrown into the same exact spot where the first wreck happened in lap 7. And it couldn't have came at a better time because Blaney just passed Reddick. Literally.
Yeah.
Just passed Reddick. And then the announcers were like, Blaney to the lead. Oh, Larson's in the wall. It was that quick, almost like, you're like, you couldn't have wrote this any better in a conspiracy way. And
it almost seems coordinated. Yeah, I don't know.
There, Spencer. Go ahead. You got it. The floor is yours now.
So, yesterday in a rage spiral, I told him that Bubba needed to be punished and that it was absolutely intentional. Maybe it wasn't. I don't know.
Look, if you watch it, don't take anything into consideration. It looks like he just takes him out. It does.
Right. So it looks like he takes him out. Let's also talk about the fact that why are Larson and Bubba racing hard to begin with? Larson's down 150 laps or whatever it was. He went inside to the garage for an hour and a half.
Yeah.
And then Bubba is running 20th. I mean, he is not in contention. I believe he was
the last car on the lead lap at that point.
Yeah, he is. He's not in contention. This is not something that these two needed to be doing any of that to begin with. So you're already down. And then the thing that really sold it for me, as far as why I was like, ooh, I don't know, is Michael Jordan. Did you see Michael Jordan's reaction when there was the accident? He's doing the fist pump. He's like, yeah, we got him. Like, I don't know. Now, I saw the video you sent me later about when Jordan went to go talk to Blaney, and Blaney brought it up, like, hey, if your guy hadn't put, Larson in the wall, well, different result maybe. And he just sort of, what did he say? He said, I didn't see you put him in the wall. I didn't see that. No, of course. Well, he didn't see it. He was fist pumping it.
Yeah, but aren't Blaney and Wallace boys too?
Yeah, they're friends. Yeah. So, but also, yeah, you're friends, but you're talking about teammate and bosses, like
yeah, no, 100%. But
yeah,
you're right when you look at it from that perspective. As far as the racing, again, it's those like kind of unwritten rules to where the leader's coming up on you. If you're already allowed, you kind of don't race them as hard as you would if you're trying to stay on the lead lap. There's all the unwritten racing rules. And when you look at it that way, you're kind of right. Why are they why are they so close to where he lets off a little bit? Again, if you looked at the thing with the telemetry, he doesn't slam the brakes on, but he taps the brakes enough to where he slows down considerably because these guys are doing whatever it is, 161, whatever it is around this track. But Wallace is right there racing them for some reason.
Yeah.
And boom, it's just the perfect situation. And from that aspect with those, you can make an argument for that. You could
now let's also be fair to Denny. He won that race because of the pit stop and because of a good restart, and because his teammate, essentially tried to hit the other two people that were passing him.
Yeah.
I saw Reddick bump both William Byron and Christopher Bell.
And you had Bell up there, I believe, too. As well.
So one was going low, one was going high, and Reddick bumped both of them. And by the time, but Denny had a really good restart. He probably didn't even need Reddick to help.
I mean, it could have.
Yeah, he was gone.
There might have been some pulling away if those guys didn't get stuck side to side. But once they all got kind of beating and banging on each other, and he opened up to like a half a second lead, I mean, that's like an eternity at Darlington in a way. And then Christopher Bell, freaking, like, when I look at Byron, man, it's like, yeah, it's gonna sting. But to be honest, he lost the race 48 laps before that. Like,
he fell off once he lost the lead. He never looked as strong.
I think, and then it was one of those things where like Boyer and Harvick, and again, I don't know if they said the whole race. I was watching. I go back right before we go on air. I go back and watch the recap again just to make sure I don't miss any. I kind of don't miss anything. But they said during the thing, they're like, the problem with leading and being so dominant is usually you're going to the pit saying, "Don't change a thing, don't change a thing." And the problem is you come out and now you're in traffic. And now you're going, we should have changed everything. We should have changed it all.
Right.
And that's what I felt like happened to Byron. And just like, man, I mean, that is, to me, is, and then Blaney, you feel bad. Like the domination that Byron had, Blaney had not a great day. He didn't control the race at all. He even said in his interview, I didn't really control the race at all. I finally get the lead. And then, the caution comes out. He never really controlled the race at all, but they just kept battling, man. And that's kind of what Blaney does. He's one of those guys where all the time, like we talked about, guys at the end of the race, and it's like, oh, there's Blaney.
Yep.
Oh, where'd Logano come from? It's always seems like there's guys there. And it was one part also I want to ask you about, because it was William Byron. I believe it was going to the end of stage 2.
Okay.
It was William Byron, it was Reddick and Wallace, and then all Fords in the top 10.
Okay.
Like, and then I looked at the end because I was like, because I remember that stuck to my head when they were doing that. And I looked at it at the end, and it's still, I mean, it was pretty mixed compared to what that was. You got Toyota, Chevy, Toyota, Ford, Chevy, Toyota, Chevy, Ford. So it ended up, but in that instance, it looked like the Fords were having a better run on the long run. And that
I want to say they were playing games at the end of the stage with the pit stop to get points. Because I mean, I think at that point in time, Austin Cindric was somewhere around 8th to 10th. He kept going back in and out between 15 and 8. And he had gotten up that high just because they had, stayed out a little longer or something.
Yeah,
But
that's
I could be wrong about that. I think they all made a stayed out, and there was some sort of pitch strategy that gave them some lap position at the end of the stage.
Yeah, no, that 100% makes sense. Because again, that's one of the things that we're seeing a lot of, and it's so weird because this year I was looking at the like right now with the points. I don't know if you saw them. I'm looking at the article here, and I believe it's Byron still leads it by 49 over Hamlin and 52 over Bell. And the odd thing is Bell 3 victories, Hamlin 2 victories. That's 5 victories for JGR in 8 races now.
Yeah.
And yet it's William Byron, who's been pretty consistent running because of the, winning stages and everything else, who's leading the points.
Yeah, and I mean, you look at the top 5s and top 10s between William Byron, Denny Hamlin, Christopher Bell, and Chase Elliott. That's the top 4. They all have 5 top 10s. William Byron has 4 top 5s. Christopher Bell has 5 top 5s. Denny Hamlin has 4 top 5s. It falls off after that. Mm-hmm. And then, Denny has 2 wins. Christopher Bell has 3 wins. He's in 3rd. But the stage wins, William Byron's got 3. I know that's not 40 points, but he's got to be scoring better like every stage than they are to be racking it up like that.
Yeah, because when you look, I was like, wow, he's got 49 points over Hamlin and 52, and they've won races, you know what I'm saying? So
absolutely,
it's got to be he's picking up those during the stages, whereas it feels like Hamlin, Bell, and them are kind of playing the race, not the stage, whereas Byron's kind of playing more. And I can't say he's playing more stage because his car was dominant. I mean, yesterday, 20 points just in the 2 stages. He won both of them. That's 10 points apiece.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So it's like, I mean, it's a pretty good day, man, for him. But then when you look at the other Hendricks cars, Chase Elliott finished 8th. He's now 4th in the standings, 59 points back.
Yeah.
Larson's in 6th now. Well, he finished 37 to 38 because of the incident. And Bowman, he's ranked 10th now, but he had a 35th place showing at Darlington. It's like, I don't understand where these cars run for. It's like, I get Larson in a way because usually he's the guy attempting the wall and then it gets clipped, and it didn't happen in Homestead this year and he wins it. It kind of happens here in Darlington, and now he's 160 laps down. But like the rest of them, Chase Elliott's having a good season. He's sitting there in 4th with, I think, but I don't remember talking about him. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, not really.
There's Chase Elliott. There's Chase Elliott. So he must be doing the points thing as well. When you look at all those cars, none of them have been. I mean, Byron has a win, right? And Larson has a win.
And Chase Elliott has 0 stage wins and 0 wins.
What? So he must be finishing like 2nd and 3rd in stages then.
Exactly.
There's no way that he's like, I mean, he's only 7 points behind Bell, and Bell's won 3 times.
But yeah, if you look back at it, I mean, Chase Elliott's got 2 top 5s and 5 top 10s in 8 races. He's finished every race, so he doesn't have any DNFs.
Yeah, which last year was his Achilles heel last year. He was getting wrecked up. Not necessarily his fault, but he was getting caught up, it felt like, in every wreck last year.
Yeah, and throughout this season, I seem to want to believe I see a lot of him running 10th, running 8th, running 12th. Mm-hmm. And then, he gets a decent finish, and that's just sort of what his day was. But, you can make a lot of money being consistent and just being, doing your job and grinding and working it out and staying out of trouble. And, it's a long season.
Yeah, you put yourself up front. I mean, look what happened yesterday. I mean, Hamlin was 3rd, and they get the late caution. He comes in, gets great pit stops. Him and the crew get out, pick up a full 2nd.
Yeah, they won that race on the pit stop. Yeah, that's how they won it. I mean, that was
definitely.
Yeah, absolutely 100%.
And then but the fact that he was in that position allowed him. That's what I kind of say about Chase Elliott. He's right there. It just feels like, but you don't hear a lot said about him, and like it's like one of those things where I feel like they kind of force fed him last year, and he didn't do so well, and now this year he's kind of not going through the motions, but he's having a very consistent year, and we'll see if he does change up. The Food City 500, 3 p.m. next Sunday, and by the way, Denny Hamlin, the defending winner. So can he go 3 in a row? Can we have Chris Bell do 3 in a row?
Yeah.
Denny Hamlin do 3 in a row. What's after Bristol? I didn't look.
I'm not sure what the schedule is.
I didn't look that far ahead. I want to see if there's a chance he could go for 4.
It's Talladega. Yeah.
Oh, then there's an opportunity there. It's opportunity for everybody. Actually.
It's a wild card. Yeah, anybody can win.
Anybody can win that one. But that'll be a 3 p.m. race. And also a show note. Once that race ends, Talking Racing Now will go live. Not from Bristol, right here from our studios.
No, unfortunately not from Bristol.
Yeah, I know, man. I want to go. I ever tell you I had a story where I went to visit my uncle, Charlie, rest in peace. And we went to Johnson City, Tennessee. That's where they lived. And he's like, "Hey, you guys we want to drive up and see Bristol." So I'm thinking, all right, it's like a Saturday night. I'm like, cool. Maybe they got some. I'm thinking, they got maybe races going on or something. So we drive up and we get there and it's just pitch dark.
Yeah.
I'm like, and we look down into it from the hill thing. Badass thing. Don't get me wrong, but I was like, I was hoping there was something going on. That was my trip to Bristol. So I definitely want to get there for a race, especially, I think I want to go to the night one though. I love the way the lights hit those cars on that track at night when it's, it'll be interesting. And then the trucks are back this week. They were off last week. Again, this is going to be interesting. The trucks have been a lot of cautions in the trucks, and again, it's one of those things where it's a lot of the younger drivers, a lot of the, beating and banging, and same with the Xfinity cars. Let's talk a little bit about the Xfinity race because I didn't get to watch the whole thing, so you're probably going to have to carry a little bit of this. But I do know that that Brandon Jones won, broke his 98 race drought. And so I saw a tweet from Dale Jr., and he laughed because Austin Hill was the one saying he was going to look over the younger guys or something.
Yeah.
And then I guess he started causing some cautions or driving a little bit, Sammy Smithish. Sammy Smith kept it together this week. Dale Earnhardt Jr. was there on his box as a show of support and everything else there. Your thoughts, I guess, on did you get to watch the Xfinity race first? And then your thoughts on let's just overlook the driving that's been going on in the Xfinity and the Truck Series. Lots of cautions. Some not necessarily bad racing. Some are just, racing is racing. You're going to have instances where one guy is, a little too close, gets a little loose and hits another guy. That's racing. But when you're plowing 3 cars in at full speed, trying to, things like that, or you're just seeing bad moves, which and again, I mean, it's like, you're like, why is that guy 5 laps into the race trying to go for that position? Like, I don't understand a lot of the thinking. And also for some of these owners, man, it's not especially in the Truck Series, some of these guys only have, I believe, like the 1 or 2 trucks. I get it. There's the teams that have more, but they're trying to race these trucks. And now you got to worry about some of these guys that have 5 or 6 trucks, and they're driving stupid and taking out the smaller guys that might not be able to do as much with the little bit that they have.
Yeah, absolutely. So, as far as Saturday, I didn't see much of the race. I turned it on. I watched maybe the first 30 minutes, and then I took a really glorious nap.
Oh, nice.
So the problem, It is nice. There's something about NASCAR and nap time, like the sound of the cars just going. It brings back just a nice warm feeling, and then naps happen sometimes. So Saturday was a nap for me, and then I don't remember seeing much of it. I think when I was watching it, I want to say Justin Allgaier was
Allgaier
was running well at the beginning,
yes.
and that was about what I saw. I saw the results, on X later, but that was it.
Yeah, I'm just worried that again, a lot of these teams, you got the guys that got the money that can do this. A lot of these teams in trucks. I remember they just going to the Homestead race. There was some guys, they didn't even have they had a tent that you buy at Walmart,
right,
out there in a jack. Like it's like, bro, what are we doing here? They got a guy running around in blue jeans, and it's like, I was like, wow. I mean, good for them, by the way, because if you got the money to do it, go in there and have fun and do it. But now you got to worry about going to these tracks and having these cars where, the equipment that Sammy Smith's driving, he knows JR, I'm going to say DEI, Junior Motorsports got another car for him on backup, so I can drive it in there like that because I know next week I got a car.
Right.
But there's 3 cars you might have taken out that next week they're not going to be able to fill a car now. And because you had to go, or they're driving some, the frames bent or whatever, just enough to get some points or something to make, like they'll do what they call those guys? They used to start and sit. I forget what they used to call those guys, where they would start the race, run like 3 or 4 laps just to get in the points and then just park it. I forgot what they called those guys. There's a couple.
Yeah. I know what you're talking about. I don't know. I don't remember what they called that.
Points to be able to go and race the next week or whatever.
Right.
And it's like, man, like when you look at the, again, here we go. The top 10 Xfinity: Brennan Jones, Chase Elliott, Justin Allgaier, Ross Chastain, Kvapil, Zilich, Eckes, Sanchez, Sammy Smith, Sheldon Creed, Jesse Love.
The normal characters with a couple of upper racers. Chase Elliott, I guess, got second. Ross Chastain, I saw he was out there. He got fourth.
Ryan Blaney in this race, but he wasn't able to catch. He wasn't able to catch up to. Ran out of time. He did.
I do think it's interesting that it seems like is it Joe Gibbs? It is Joe. Yeah.
Yeah.
But they always seem to be driving the 17. Like whatever driver it is they're putting in there, they're throwing him in the 17.
Yeah.
Or like the 07. The 7s are number in Xfinity, I guess.
Yeah, because this week I think they threw in. I don't know if they threw anybody in this week. I think Chastain and Elliott were the only Cup guys, I believe,
that don't race all the time.
Yeah, and then Elliott wanted to race because he said he doesn't do good at Darlington, and he just wanted to see time, and that's kind of the way he did that race too. He kind of never really controlled it, just kind of stayed back there. I know there was an incident with Honeyman and Josh Williams near the end. There was some beef a little bit there, where the talk was, why are these guys on the thing? And I saw the comments underneath, and they're like, I blame my racing. I do this and this. And it's like, I don't know, man. I don't know where the thing is, but like these guys, it's, who was Mark Martin, I believe. And Kyle Petty also said they drive it like there's no punishments. There's no repercussions.
Right.
That's okay. They'll just put me back out in some other new car next week because they're not paying for it, And then what I thought about too was, because again, I don't know all the ins and outs of how these guys came up. Okay, I don't know who came. I know we've heard the stories of, like Raj Karuth, who was an iRacer, got a chance and goes, but he doesn't race.
No,
doesn't race like silly where it's like, oh, that's all this in the game,
Right.
He doesn't do the Ross Chastain where, hey, maybe I can stick it to the wall and see what happens. Or anything.
Hey, that worked.
It did work. It beat my guy.
Yeah.
Put my guy out of the playoffs, actually.
That worked.
On Ford. But, like, I don't know what the mindset is with some of these guys. Because some of these guys are not driving the top stuff, and they're still taking chances like they are in the top stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like Honeyman doesn't drive a a JGR or Hendrix or RCR or any of that stuff, but yet
Right.
he's still constantly. I don't know. Maybe I'm just so used to the way, and whether you want to call it respectful racing or just guys used to take care of they knew what they had. I don't have the car that's gonna, you know, win this, but as long as I can keep within the lead lap, some people are just happy being on the lead lap at a race like Darlington or something. You know what I'm saying? Like that's the goal there. And it just feels like now everybody thinks that they can win no matter what. Oh, if I can get to the front of the pack in lap 5, nobody's going to catch me.
Right. Well, if you destroy your car in Darlington, right, and if you're a smaller team, yeah, you've probably got a short track car, so like you got a week because you're going to Bristol.
Bristol.
But Talladega's next week. You're more than likely intending to use the same car at Talladega that you're using at Darlington. So like, you're putting your team in a tough spot. And yeah, that's a quick way to lose jobs is one, bankrupt your owner. Not all owners
I
are.
just don't understand how a lot of these owners just, and again, we're not there for the meetings on the teams, and maybe a lot more is being said behind the scenes. But when I hear a lot of like the guys that are in the garage area talking about like something needs to be done, that to me feels like, okay, they're seeing it and nothing's being done.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? It's like, man, like I wish I could own a car just to be like, hey, let's go out there and run some laps. Let's go.
Right. And how angry would you be if you had one car and then, somebody just smashed it for no reason?
Yeah. Or some dumbass takes out my car because of just the silliness. Like, just like why, like for instance, the Bubba Wallace thing. Now, when you put it the way you put it, like, oh, one's 160 laps down, the other's at least a lap down. There's 2 laps to go and 3 laps to go in the race. Why are we racing each other so tight? I can see that. And that's one of those things where if I'm a one-car operation in trucks or Xfinity and my guy and Larson is my guy driving my car and now he loses, he's 160 laps down. We're just trying to make points.
Right.
And now he's wrecked at the end of the race again. Like, come on, man. And then a lot of people were like, or might be like, well, why is Larson out there 160 laps down? He lost the regular season last year.
By 1 point.
By 1 point.
Yeah. So no, you get out there. I'm with
get out there.
I'm with getting out there. I'm with getting out there and doing what you got to do. But
and again, it wasn't like he was pushing the issue. And again, I don't know that necessarily Bubba Wallace was pushing the issue, but he did not expect him to hit the brakes.
Right.
And then he was so close on him that, and it's not like it's a drafting trap. I mean, you can draft a little bit, but why are you drafting a car that's 160 laps down?
Right.
Be close enough to where if he hits his brakes, you're putting him in the wall. Like,
and to be fair, I mean, they were coming out of the corner where the stripe is, and it's a tight spot. You kind of drift into that corner.
Yeah, they both stayed down. Looked like they were trying to make sure they didn't get up, and I guess they both had the same idea. But then when Reddick did hit the wall, to me it looked like there was enough room to where he wouldn't have come down and collected Larson, even if he spun out, which he didn't. I'm not sure what Larson was thinking, or maybe he just thought, you know what, my car's beat up enough. I don't want to get taken out. If he does come down, I'm just gonna back off. And the only problem was Bubba wasn't backing off, and Bubba bowled him over.
Yep.
And Denny went on to win it, baby.
He did.
11 versus the world, baby.
Listen,
11 versus the world.
If Blaney hadn't dropped 3 spots in the pit, I'd be more angry about it. But the reality is, like, Denny Hamlin won that race in the pit, and then he got a better restart, and the other 2 dudes had no chance because Reddick was playing defense for him. They did a little shake and bake, and, good for them.
They did an 8.35 second stop in that pressure situation. That's a hell of a stop, man. And
yeah.
Not only that, but the Jack man has been like the viral guy for NASCAR this week because of the way he goes around, he flips the jar. I don't know how many other people do this, but
I got to go watch it then. I have no idea. That's got to be interesting.
Seen that thing?
No.
Oh man, hold on a minute. Let me see if I can bring this up on here.
Well, the Jack guys are always very impressive. They're like, former football players, former wrestlers. Like,
yeah.
large men, former defensive linemen that have bulked up but like thinned out a little bit. Yeah.
Hold on a minute. Like, hopefully I can find. I thought I sent it to you.
So you sent me a couple things. I don't remember seeing.
I'm gonna look through what I sent you first to see if I.
So you sent me the video with Michael Jordan talking to Blaney.
Yep, I 100% did not send it to you.
Yeah, and then there's this other thing which I don't think has a video, which kind of shows, I guess, where Bubba ran into Kyle Larson.
Yeah, it had a thing with the telemetry, so you could see where he didn't hit the brakes on the lap before, and he hit the brakes that time. But if you watch it, you can see where Riddick hits the wall, and I'm guessing I'm guessing that's why he hit the brakes at that time, because again, he did not want to be a part of.
Well, yeah, imagine being 160 laps back and then plowing into the third place car or second place car or whatever it was. Second place, yeah.
Man, I didn't realize NASCAR posted so much. I don't know why I don't get everything that they post. I get some things. It's like it nominates which one's the algorithm.
Yeah, whoever they've got working for social media is pretty active for them.
Oh, my goodness. Especially race days. Jeez.
And they do like to troll a little bit. They'll throw some of the more confrontational things out there.
Yes. I noticed that.
They don't shy away from that.
No.
So while you're looking that up, I noticed something else about the Xfinity race.
Okay.
I remember seeing this now. Christopher Bell ran that race.
Oh, Bell wasn't it? I didn't see him on the.
Yeah, it's because he got 25th.
Oh, yeah, I see him now. I didn't see the eye there.
Yeah.
Yeah, I see the eye now. Yeah. Yeah.
Says he led 27 laps, so I'm not sure what happened, if he got hit, spun out, whatever, but it's hard to believe he wouldn't have done better without something happening.
Yeah.
So I got to tell you, next week is probably my favorite track.
Oh, no, the beating and banging is going to be so good. You know what bothers me too is I think the Xfinity and the trucks are going to take forever.
Yeah.
I mean, they're having a tough enough time on all these other tracks, and now, like, I just feel like this is going to be one of those where it's like start, stop, start, stop, start, stop, start, stop. But
yeah, probably
Sunday race, which will be at least contested nicely.
Well, because they're more durable, right? Like, they really are more durable. They take a pounding. And not only they take a pounding and they stay up to speed, which is the really impressive part.
Yeah. Yeah, not as many I mean, there was a lot of stripes, of course, but none that hit in like the knee-jerk reaction that I think Harvick and because every time they hit, they're like, hey, he didn't bounce back that time. You know, it just felt like the cars handled a little differently.
Yeah, as far as hitting the stripe, it's all about. It looks like it, at least to me. A guy that's sitting here talking whatever, but it looks like it kind of depends on about if you hit it square or if you just hit it a little bit at an angle. You're spinning out, right? Like you can tap the wall, but it's all about hitting it flush, and it's kind of an art to it.
Now I'm starting to think I made this up.
You think you just dreamed it?
I think I'm just dreaming it. Yeah.
or it just wasn't on NASCAR. It was, on Denny's post or something like that.
It's like, I know I saw it. There's the one where they make fun of it. There's one where Alan Cavana goes, the OG behind the back move, and it's the guy taking out his own pit crew. So I know it exists, but I didn't find it on JGR. I didn't find it on NASCAR.
So you found the parody, but not the original?
Yeah, I don't see the original. Maybe they took it down so nobody can copy it.
Well, whatever he's doing, if it works, I'm sure someone else they're gonna be picking it up pretty soon.
He does it so smoothly, man. Jesus. I'm really starting to think that I just made this up.
Sweet dreams of winning races and pit
Yeah, that's
stops.
what happens when Denny Hamlin wins 2 in a row. I start just dreaming.
Dreaming about pit stops and how wonderful the Jackman is. And
Hamlin's Jackman, it was a former Green Bay Packer player.
Okay.
Old Bognon. And here's one. This isn't the one necessarily, but this is the actual pit stop from yesterday. So I guess that's a good one because it does show him doing it. All right, let me see now. Now I need to share this. Hold on a minute. Gotta do that. All right, now let's see how we do this here. So now what do I need to do here? I want to share something here. So how do I do this? Layer. Add new layer. Screen share. Just so you know, that was the wrong thing I hit.
We'll do it live.
Yeah, this is what happens here. So we'll do this, and then now we'll... What is going on here? All right, I guess I cannot...
So does he have like a specific style? Is he like spinning it? I mean, is it just... It's got like it's like a skateboarder with like just his own unique sort of style and the way he handles the jack. Like what's
all right, I think I got it. I think I got it here. Hold on.
All right, I see you down below.
All right, so now I can bring it in. All right, so I'm just it's gonna block our whole thing because I'm gonna make it a full screen right now, so you can actually see it. All right, so now I'm gonna bring it in. All right, we're still in there, I believe. So now this is the front tire changer, and the Jackman is right behind him. This is kind of quick, so you're gonna have to catch it. You ready?
Yep. Oh yeah. I did see that. Yeah, so he's got it. He sort of like spins it around his back when he pulls it up, and then he's undercutting the tire guy. They've got that worked out so that the jack guy doesn't have to go around him. He's undercutting him, which is not normally how that's done. Mm-hmm. They generally go around him.
Yeah, no.
And then they're fighting to get out of the way of the tire guy that's giving the tire to the, I guess the other front tire guy from behind the wall, right? So it's kind of like this cluster. Yeah, he's undercutting him. But that move behind the back, where he's like pulling it and then spinning it behind the back and then undercut that is super cool.
It's like. Wow. I mean, he's like, all I do is just rotate my hands and I just keep running. So now he doesn't have to worry about his footwork. And the other guys have got it timed out now to where, so again, when you look at an 8.35 second stop and
you're doing something different.
Like, yeah, man. 100%.
Yeah, I'm gonna put some shin guards on and go outside and practice with my jack.
Well, that was the thing with the one, an old school one, and the guy swinging the jack and he undercuts. I think it looks like a NASCAR. It looks like an official because all the pit guys have different colors on. He's got like a white shirt and blue pants, and then the jack just comes flying around and bam, takes the guy out, undercuts him, and everything else. But next week, don't forget again, Sunday, right as the race ends, we're talking Bristol, baby.
Yeah, we are.
And we're going to talk the finish. We'll talk trucks, Xfinity, and the NASCAR Cup race. Spencer, let them know where they can get you, my man.
So you can find me at NoldDow87 on X, or I'll be hanging out somewhere on the internet, trolling around somewhere. YouTube, baby, YouTube.
Yeah, baby. Yeah, baby. You know, we're one of these races. I'm gonna get with you, and maybe we'll do like a stage. We'll pick like a stage 2, and we'll do a space. Me and you.
Okay.
On X, and if you can, I know you've got, your priorities there, but I would like to do that just once because I actually want to try it to see how it goes because I've never really done one, but I want to do it with a partner so that it doesn't lag in case, of course, maybe some followers don't jump on. I don't know. I don't want to talk to myself in space.
Right. One, that, but two, it does seem like X has really high participation.
Yeah, no, those, and that's pretty cool because I can make a moderator anybody, so I can add in, me and you will be the original, but if somebody wants to ask a question, it just shifts everything. You just put them on there to ask the question and then we can answer back. So it could be a very interactive thing, and again, we started small with stages, and then if it's something that actually grows, then maybe we do a little bit more. But you can catch me on X as well, Stanley Media _11. I'm at Stanley Media House on everything else. And of course, this is the Stanley Media House Network on YouTube and on Facebook on the page. You can check it out right there. Hit the like button, hit the follow button, hit the subscribe button, share it out there. We talk NASCAR now after the races. It used to be Monday at 7. Now it will be after the races on Saturday, Sunday, depending on when the races are. After the Cup race goes final, Talkin' Racing Now will be on the air. But make sure you hit that subscribe button, be a part of the community. I'm going to start doing more NASCAR stuff in the community too, as well as the pro wrestling that we do. And don't forget to join me and Frankie Fresco tomorrow night, 7 p.m. No Doubt is usually in the chat as well. So you guys can talk a little NASCAR there as well. Get a little Q&A with them, and then you can talk some wrestling as well. Spencer, I appreciate your time today, man.
Absolutely. So you watching basketball or are you watching Raw? What are you doing?
I see, Raw messed me up with that international stuff. The 3-4 o'clock time actually works pretty damn good. I like it, but I will be flipping back and forth. I'll probably have my phone on Raw and my TV on the Gators game because I have a little.
That was my thought.
A little dinero on that one. I don't know more dinero on Raw. So, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, obviously not a Gator fan, but
no,
good luck.
I had them picked to beat Duke in the finals. Actually, so
I do like the team though. I've watched them a couple of times, and like that team, they've got the guards, the I think it's Carter Jr. or something like that.
Clayton
Jr. He's got some moxie to him. Like he's a gamer.
They got big men that can play and shoot.
Mm-hmm. They're pretty fun to watch, and they're scrappy.
Yeah, that is how they built that team. So we hope you have a great night, and don't forget again. Remember, a special note: we used to go live Monday 7 p.m. Talkin' Racing Now, starting this Sunday. As soon as the Cup race goes final, you'll see the live button. Ding! Stanley Media House Network will be live on the air. Myself and Spencer talking Bristol, baby. Until then, we'll talk to you later.